Hello, so now that I got my mock-up mostly done, and that's in the last video because it was going to be too long of a video to try and do the mock-up and then the actual sewing of the shirt that I was wanting to do. It would just be too long of a video. So this video is me going to be less fussing around with the pattern, figuring out what I can't do shortcuts on. I'm actually going to this time follow the pattern a little bit better and sew myself in 1830s to 60s men's shirt that hopefully will come out very well. So I'll show you what I did wrong with the mock-up. I have the shoulder seam is way too long for me, so I need to go down a size. Also, if I would have ironed this instead of pinning it for 20 minutes and fussing with it and not getting it even, it would have been a lot easier. Also, I forgot to look at my stitching. So this is a nice gathering stitch, and period would be this really nice small stitching here. So I need to slow down and make sure I am doing much smaller stitching and better pinning and ironing, because this was also not the best. So, and I also found out I need to really clean my sewing machine because I got machine oil on a nice white shirt. So I'm gonna get to cutting out the pattern after I make the adjustments on the shoulder and get to sewing. So I folded my fabric a little bit differently than normally how it would be on the bolt, because I have 4 large patterns that need to be on the fold. So by doing it this way, I have more of the fold to place my patterns on, because I need to do 2 of those large sleeves along with the front and the back. shirt, I realized I was not getting as much done in a timely fashion, and I realized that was because I was just setting up extra barriers for myself. So I had planned to do this seam, the inner shoulder arm seam, by hand. That wasn't working out, so I went ahead and just did that by machine, because if it's gonna set for 2 days and I wanted to wear this for Halloween, it's not gonna get done if I keep telling myself I'm gonna do it a certain way and challenge myself to learn something new when I'm not gonna do it. So I managed to get these seams folded over, and I did actually get the gussets in by hand, so I still have the other side to do. And I also found out what this little extra small gusset was for. I did not put the seam in the sleeve, so I got the little gusset in there. Doesn't look all that great, but it's a start. So I just have the cuffs and the collar to do, so I have the gathering seams put in there. And it said to iron these and turn in the bottom seam allowance and iron it, but it's too hot, so I'm just going to pin it. If you have a thinner fabric, this is a trick courtesy of my grandma Kay, because when she was living in New Mexico, you don't pull out the iron unless you have to, or you can set a heavy book on that. So I have the other seam, which I have to fold over and get that sewn, and then the gussets put in. I find it interesting. I've always folded over my seams, which is called felling in the pattern, but I never knew to cut the inner seam allowance when doing that. So it's kind of an interesting thing, something that I wasn't doing before. Yeah, so I will get back to work on that and hopefully show some of my bad hand sewing on the gussets. So here are the buttons that I'm going to use. I'm going to try and do my buttonholes by hand, and I kind of chose a mix match of wood buttons because I didn't like the plastic ones that I had. shirt accomplished. So since this was a work shirt, I decided to do kind of the mix match wood buttons instead of doing the fancier white buttons. Decided to have some fun. So I found out later from looking at other pictures of what this pattern was supposed to be, the sleeve is actually supposed to come off the shoulder, but this still kind of works, so I didn't need to make that alteration on the pattern. But otherwise, pretty easy to make. Sleeves are maybe a little bit too long on me, but not too bad. So thanks for watching.